Alright, we had another live stream from Hasbro Pulse, and you know what that means. New reveals! And there's some cool stuff here. There's not too much here, or at least maybe not too much I'm super interested in, but nonetheless, still some pretty cool stuff. To briefly touch on these, they showed some Nitro gaming chairs, and they're neat, I guess. European exclusive, not too much to say. Looks kind of cool. There is the Elite RoboSyn Optimus Prime, which if you've seen the previous one, it's basically the same thing, except I believe smaller, and of course a bit cheaper. I haven't really paid too much attention to it, to be completely honest, but hey, the thing's still pretty cool. And getting into the reveals, we'll start off with the Studio Series Core Class Dark of the Moon Bumblebee, and it's that Core Class mold, but in the Bumblebee colors. You know, it looks fine. I'm not planning to get this, but very cool for those who want it. Already got the Laserbeak version, and it's cool to have, but I'm not really a fan of this mold, to be completely honest, and I don't really need a small Bumblebee like this, so I'm not interested, but it is very cool for those who want it. Then next is the Deluxe Studio Series 86 Brawn, and you know, I think he looks cool. I'm not the biggest fan of G1 Brawn's design, but I think this guy works. I can't quite put my finger on what it is, but something about his robot mode legs looks a little weird to me. The robot mode looks fine. It's definitely a G1 Brawn. The vehicle mode looks fine, if a bit basic, but I mean, with G1 stuff, that's kind of to be expected. But still, it looks fine, if maybe a bit too kind of core class Legends-y looking to me personally. But this is one I might keep my eye on. Next up is the Studio Series Deluxe Gamer Edition War for Cybertron Cliff Jumper, which, you know, if you're not already a fan of the Bumblebee version, this probably won't change your mind. I do think the red looks good, the head sculpt looks good. It has the more Prime inspired head design that the Follow Cybertron Cliff Jumper had. Granted, this is War for Cybertron, so unless I missed something and they actually called it Follow Cybertron in the live stream, it's whatever though. You know, it's clearly meant to be the Follow Cybertron one. Red version of Bumblebee with a different head, I think he looks fine. I haven't gotten the Bumblebee version, so it's hard for me to say if I'll like this Cliff Jumper version based off of that, but I don't hate the look of the Bumblebee version, and I'm liking what I'm seeing of Cliff Jumper so far, so as of right now, I'm definitely gonna get this guy. Then next up is the Studio Series Voyager Gamer Edition War for Cybertron Megatron, and I think this guy looks awesome. He might be the best looking figure of the Gamer Edition ones so far. For the most part, he looks pretty damn accurate to the game. Of course, he has his fusion cannon and the mace weapon, and the mace weapon is pretty large. I can't remember if it was that big off of the top of my head, and some have noted that the fusion cannon could stand to be more accurate in robot mode, especially with how skinny the back half of it is, but it being skinny like that is accurate to the tank mode, so they probably prioritized it looking right in tank form with it still looking fine in the robot form, which I think the fusion cannon does look fine. And you know, the only complaint I really have about the robot mode is the extra chunk on the sides of the legs, but even that's not bad. It just could look better, because otherwise I think this robot mode looks pretty damn good, especially that head sculpt. One thing I wanted to note too, in the gameplay for War for Cybertron, the fusion cannon did not replace the arm. That happened in Fall of Cybertron, but for whatever reason, when Megatron has the fusion cannon equipped in War for Cybertron, it's on the side of his arm like normal, I guess, whereas every other weapon will replace the arm like for all of the other characters. So this is indeed accurate, although as you can see, it still can replace it, so it's pretty cool that they still have that. And I think the tank mode looks good. It looks like the tank mode, which there's not too much to say about War for Cybertron Megatron's tank form. I like it, but it is sort of a wedge with a big gun, but hey, it looks accurate enough here and I like it. Next up is the Studio Series Voyager Rise of the Beasts Rhinox, and man, do I like the look of this guy. This is also kind of our first real clear look at the design for Rhinox in the movie, or at least probably close, just depending on how much the design has possibly been changed, but I think he looks cool. Definitely has sort of an ancient warrior look to him. I think he still has the look of a Rhinox design, especially in the head. I like the hammer weapon. I don't even mind the colors. You know, I think this guy looks pretty good. Then the Rhino mode I think looks pretty solid. Certainly not the best thing in the world, but I dig it. It looks like we might have some interesting transformation stuff going on. Maybe not in the back legs, but let's be honest, most Beast Transformers are kind of like that, so hey. So yeah, this guy looks very cool. I'm definitely looking forward to getting him. Then next up, also from Studio Series Rise of the Beasts, is the Voyager Optimus Prime that is going to be a buzzworthy Target exclusive. It is annoying that it is being released as an exclusive, but hopefully it's similar to how they did the Revenge of the Fallen Bumblebee. But to be honest, I think this guy looks pretty phenomenal. I know some people haven't been a fan of the Rise of the Beast Optimus design, but I think it really works here. I really don't have any complaints about the robot mode. The only thing I can think of is that the smokestacks are a bit big, or at least to me they look big here. I'm sure that's something to do with thin plastic parts or something like that. But otherwise, this guy looks great. The blasters may be a bit small, but that's honestly whatever. I dig the sword and how it can plug into the wrist. He's very clean from basically every angle. Yeah, I don't have any complaints about the robot mode. And the truck mode looks great. Very solid looking truck mode. There's really nothing that I have a complaint about there either. I kind of get the feeling that this might be a highlight figure for this year. He really does look good and almost makes me regret getting the mainline Rise of the Beast Optimus toy. That's a very cool figure, and I was never going to really use that as sort of a main figure. You know, I just got it to mess with, especially with people saying that it was pretty good for what it is. But this guy genuinely looks great. I am really looking forward to him. And then we have two Amazon exclusive pre-war 2-packs. We'll start off here with the Rise of Tyranny 2-pack, which has a minor Megatron and Senator Ratbat. The Megatron is again using a version of the Siege mold, which it's kind of just gotten old at this point, but I think this one looks really good. Love the colors, love the new parts. The pickaxe is awesome. I like the drill piece. Obviously that works better in tank form, but still it's pretty neat. And getting to the tank form, it looks good too. It's still kind of just the Siege tank, but with a drill now, but hey, it looks fine. A couple of years ago, I used the regular Siege Voyager and bought the Toy Hacks Repro Label set to convert it into minor Megatron. So part of me is kind of like, do I need this set? Yes, this Megatron looks great. And then Ratbat looks really good. He is a remold of the Studio Series Scourge figure, and I think he works, especially with having, you know, the wings. Head sculpt looks good. The colors work pretty well here. He's also kind of like Megatron, that it's not really too changed up in the alternate form, but like Megatron, it still looks pretty good. I already have this set pre-ordered. I think it looks pretty cool. I'm definitely looking forward to it. And then going along with it is the Humble Origins 2-pack. This one features Senator Shockwave and Orion packs. Shockwave is definitely the highlight here and definitely the one out of both of the packs that I'm looking forward to. It's a remold of the Siege Seeker, and I really think this looks good. Maybe the legs could have been changed up more, but everything that did change looks great. The robot mode especially looks fantastic. I really do dig this. The vehicle mode is a little lackluster. It's definitely just like, it's the Siege Tetrajet, but without wings, and it does look a little odd like that. Maybe a little unfinished if I'm being completely honest here, but I also don't mind the really weird sort of abstract looking Cybertronian mode, so this is kind of fine for me. Again, definitely the one I am looking forward to the most. Then we got Orion Pax, who is a remold of the Siege Hound, and he looks fine. I feel like Siege Hound is kind of just an okay figure, not bad but not great, and this kind of looks to continue that. I do dig the remolds, like the head sculpt's pretty great, the new axe looks cool. I feel like there's not too much to say here, although it does look good. I'm looking forward to that 2-pack. I also have it pre-ordered, and I'm looking forward to them both. These are pretty cool sets. And of course, want to point out that you can kind of combine the box art of the two and get a big picture going. It's similar to what they did with the Wreckers packs from last year. And if you look closely at the top of the Humble Origins pack, you can see what looks like Nova Prime, who has popped up in listings and is rumored to be a remold of the Siege Galaxy upgrade Optimus, which I'd love to have a Nova Prime. I have unfortunately missed out on any figure of the character. Some of the exclusive ones they've done to various third-party figures and upgrades, so would love to have that happen. Then we had more pipeline reveals, which is pretty rad. We have a core class Dinobot combiner Snarl, and I think this is the last one. I can't remember off the top of my head at the moment, but hey, I hope he turns out pretty good. I do feel like the odds are kind of against him since most of those don't look all that great to me. There's going to be a deluxe bombshell, so you can finish off the Insecticons, which is pretty cool. They're going to be doing a deluxe strong arm. Makes me wonder if it's going to be a straightforward new figure for strong arm or similar to the Prime Universe figures that we've gotten in Evolution, and it's probably going to be more like that. But hey, I'll be very interested to see what they do. I like strong arm and Robots in Disguise, and her design's pretty neat. Then there's a deluxe Detritus, which will be a repaint of Hound, and we knew this was coming a while ago, and I believe it's supposed to be a repainted version of that Hound that we saw pictures of a long time ago with the Hatchet. So, you know, will we finally see that Hound soon? Will we finally have Hatchet soon? Who knows? Maybe this is a good sign. Then we have a deluxe Cyberverse Shadow Striker, and kind of like with Strong Arm, is this going to be a more straightforward figure of that design or sort of a reinterpretation like with the Prime Universe figures? I like that character, I like that design, so I'll be very interested to see what they do. There's going to be a Voyager Bludgeon, which I recall that we heard some stuff about. I believe he's supposed to be a remold of Tarn, and people were saying that there were already some details on Tarn that matched up better with this Bludgeon design. And hey, I love Bludgeon, he's pretty cool. Granted, I think that the Revenge of the Fallen design is pretty unbeatable, but still, I'm down for a new version of Bludgeon. Then there's going to be a Voyager Junkion Trashmaster, and as you can see here, the funny thing is we don't actually see anything of him, but hey, we know there's one coming, so that's cool. And last but not least, there's going to be a Leader Dreadwing, which most of us figured, and I'm pretty sure we had listings of, so he is pretty much guaranteed to be a repaint of the Legacy Skyquake, maybe with a new weapon since their guns were different, but we'll see. I actually like Legacy Skyquake a good bit. He's a pretty damn good figure, and I'm sure that it'll look fantastic in the Dreadwing colors. So yeah, that's been everything with this Pulse live stream. There's some cool stuff, and I am looking forward to a good chunk of it. But tell me, which of the reveals here are you most interested in, and which of the pipeline reveals are you hyped for? Let me know down in the comments. As always, I want to give a big thanks to everyone for watching, and have a good one.